bows and settles back down again. Brett Cox will kick off for Minnesota. That's Chuck Noll trying to keep warm over there for the Steelers. Cox usually kicks to about the 5-yard line. He may squib kick it. He likes to squib it to the corners. You might keep your eyes on McNeil, 54, going down. And the oldest man in the National Football League covering kickoffs, Bill Brown, could be down there, number 30. Or Terry Brown, 24. Amos Martin, 55. Or Jeff Wright, 43. Back deep is Steve Davis, 35 for the Steelers. Flanking him are Harrison, 46, and Preston Pearson, 26. The field's in pretty good shape. It has been vacuumed off. Cox will be kicking against the wind.
A tense football game, Kurt. This could be one of the really important plays. The opening kickoff. You'll see where the tension's at.
Cox is a chiropractor, and he massages that one. It's not too deep. Taken by Preston Pearson, and he fights his way over his 35 to his 36-yard line. And downfield on the tackle is Scott Anderson, number 56, to trip him up. So Pittsburgh puts the ball in play on their 36-yard line with a first down. A backfield of Bradshaw, number 12, at quarterback. Rocky Blyer, number 20. Frankie Harris, 32, the running backs. The wide receiver coming at you, Shanklin, 25. Frank Lewis, 43 on the other side. And the tight end is Larry Brown, 87. Flyers to his 39-yard line. Number 23, Jeff Wright, the strong safety, came up. The interior line, John Kolb, 55. Strongest man on the team up front. Clack, 50, left guard. Mansfield, never missed a game in 11 seasons, at center, 56. Jerry Mullins, the right guard, 72. Gordon Gravel, 71, the right tackle. Second down, 7. The Steelers on their 39. Just underway. Bradshaw's worn that beard the last month. And going down is Franco Harris. Right on him was Roy Winston. He lost his footing. So that spots the ball on the 39 and makes it 3rd and 7.
It's our first shot of the
14-man huddle.
Yeah, I was going to say that was the first shot of it. You've got them all out there, and they're coming off rather slowly.
Winston's coming off. And let's see. Also, they delay. Jim Marshall comes out, and Hilgenberg comes out. 11 men have to be on the field at the snap of the ball. Terry Brown's gone in. 3rd and 7. They're looking for a pass, the Vikings. Bradshaw will accommodate. Trying to get out of the pocket. He's tripped up. There was a great charge by Bob Lurtzema.
That's twice, though, Kurt.
Also, Alan Page, who got a hand on his ankle.
That's twice. It looks like that both guys have slept out there. The time before it was Harris, and this time it was Bradshaw. Let's watch Page come in.
Great movement by Page. He's just going to the outside. The 3-man rush. He gets by Jim Clack.
And ran over Cobb there with number 55. He put some pressure on him, didn't he?
All right, Sam McCullum is back deep, along with Nate Wright. Punt formation, Bobby Walden, averaged 39 yards a kick. He should have a win behind him. And it's a boomer. McCullum, the rookie of Montana State, takes it on the 13. Ooh, he's blasted down. Covering that kick was Ed Bradley, the headhunter, number 38. A punt of 53 yards. And now we'll watch the Vikings go to work. First down for Minnesota.
Much of the talk this week is that Fran Tarkenton will be rolling out of that pocket. The idea, get away from that fearsome rush. Now there's great pride in both defensive units. You've seen the pride of the Vikings. Now the Steelers are at it.
Tarkenton, the quarterback. 14-year career in the National Football League. Dwight White is the starting right end. Coming out of the hospital to start the Super Bowl 9. Foreman, Osborne, the running back. Tarkenton scrambles and completes it. He hits Gilliam, John Gilliam, wide receiver number 42, who's playing, you notice, on his left wrist with a crack there. He has a broken wrist that he's been playing with.
I think it's also interesting, Kurt, that on the first play from scrimmage there was the rollout. We have talked about that in the pregame show and so, but Tarkington was called a scrambler for a long time. He kind of resented that because he says, I always just do what I feel like I have to do. And to get away from a big rush, the rollout's one of the best things you can do, and that's the guy he's got to depend on too, Chuck Foreman.
There's a dangerous man, Foreman. First down, Vikings on their 34. Fake to Foreman. He lobs it out and misses his tight end, Stu Boyd, down the middle. Already Tarkington is trying to open up. He's gone to the air twice in the first two plays. This telecast presented by the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the National Football League is prohibited. Al?
We might keep our eye on Jack Lambert. It looks like a situation where Fran might want to put it in the air, but he also might want to go straight up. So 58 could be the target.
Tarkington on second down, 10 from the Viking 34. And that's Dave Arthur trying to plunge up the middle, and he runs into Mean Joe Green.
Okay, we said this man is the heart of it. You bet he is. Joe Green attacking that middle, stopping him cold. Lambert helping out on the play.
A yard gain. It's 3rd and 9 for Minnesota. L.C. Greenwood, 68, the left end. Joe Green, the left tackle. Ernie Holmes, 63, the right tackle. Dwight White, 78, the right end. They led the National Football League in getting to the quarterback. And now taken out of the game is Ernie Holmes. And coming on, Lauren Taves, linebacker. Tarkington scrambling away. Throws on the run, and he's dropped. It is no good. John Gilliam was there at the sidelines, did not have it long enough. It's an incomplete pass, and Minnesota now will be kicking against the wind. Their punter is Mike Eyeshide. He kicks it about 35 yards a crack. He's a good out-of-bound kicker, but he's going against a strong breeze now. And Lynn Swan, a rookie, an excellent punt returner. Second all-time in one season returning punts for total yardage is 88, and 27 is Glenn Edwards. Mike Eyeshide. On 4th and 9, no score. 3 minutes gone, first period. High snap. Low kick against the wind, an excellent kick. Swan fields it on his 25, 30, 35, and suddenly he's nabbed as he crossed his 40-yard line. And the hit was made there by number 89, John McGakin. We'll take a timeout here in the first quarter. The score, Pittsburgh nothing, Minnesota nothing. The Steelers gained 8 yards in the exchange of punts. First down, Pittsburgh on their 42. Terry Bradshaw has been outstanding in postseason play, hitting 56% of his passes. Has Harrison Blyer behind him. Look out. That's Eller. Eller may have touched somebody. If he did, it was encroachment. He was drawn off. It's a legal procedure. And it's a legal procedure. Eller went right through the gap and didn't touch anyone. So he's drawn off by Gordon Gravel, who had a false start, number 71. Right now, the Steelers cannot get untracked on offense.
One of the things I think you can expect at this particular time of the game, Kurt, is that there's going to be some nervousness on both teams' part. Eller's a experienced veteran. He saw a movement and took off, got 5 yards.
First and 15 for Pittsburgh from their 37. Blyer holding through at the 50.
Oh, wow.
The Vietnam War veteran has the first down. He's brought to the turf by Jeff Wright.
All right, we're talking against Oakland. Rocky Blyer was the guy that gained right close to the 100 yards. You'll see this little trap play come right back up through the middle. A beautiful hole. Nobody's in there. Winston's gone. Seaman's gone. Krause is the first one that picks him up. If you could get a good performance out of Rocky Blyer today, everybody looking for Franco Harris, but nobody looks for Rocky Blyer.
Our first down, the Steelers have it. They're on the Minnesota 45. On a comeback, it's Franco Harris. Franco Harris tackled by Alan Page, all-pro tackle at the 41 of Minnesota. Franco, 5 games this year, over 100 yards. Slow start, but he came strong. 2 of his 3 years with the Steelers, he's gained 1,000 yards. He can go inside or out. Second down, 6 for Pittsburgh on the Viking 41-yard line. No score, 10:45 to go in the first period. Now here's a new formation we haven't seen. A slot back and 2 wides on the same side.
It didn't work.
It didn't work. They're trying to get Harris outside. They were trying to hook that left in Eller, and a flag went down. Jeff Wright made the tackle.
Keep in mind when we see that formation, the one thing it is doing, it is virtually telegraphing that you might go wide to that side. The Steelers obviously have some counter situations.
Jim Marshall, the defensive captain, a medical marvel. At the age of 36, he had pneumonia 6 weeks this year and kept playing. Spent 3 or 4 days in a hospital. All he has to do is get in shape, is circle the goalpost once in the summer, and he's underway.
The old medical marvel.
He sure is. This is the clipping penalty against Pittsburgh. It's back to the Steeler 44-yard line. They have now a 2nd and 19.
2nd and 19, Kurt. Jackie Wallace on the far side is number 25. He's going to be looking at the leading receiver, Frank Lewis, number 43.
Bradshaw's been trying to get that running game going. There's it out to Lewis. Lewis at the 45. He's the fastest player in the Steeler club. And he's back to the Minnesota 45, where he's upended by Wally Hilgenberg, the veteran outside linebacker. Good block by John Cole.
One of the things, Kurt, that you try to do when you've had an unfortunate penalty like they had is you try to get the penalty back on the first play, so it'll be 2nd down. And you see this, that's Cobb coming out, number 55, I believe. But the main thing is a very conservative play in a way. You throw it out to a guy that has the potential of breaking it all the way. And they did. They get back. Now it's 3rd down and about 8 or 9 yards to go.
3rd and 9, Don. Steelers in Viking territory, and the Viking 44, no score. Yankel and Lewis are still in there as wide receiver. Good rush on him. Oh, he's decked. Well, I imagine that Minnesota front four is tired of hearing about the Pittsburgh front four. Ellen Page in there.
The first move is so important. There's the head slap on Jim Clack. This man has power and speed. He is absolutely a great football player.
Zero, I don't remember the title, but he was the first defensive player to be the most valuable player in the National Football League. Is that right? There we go.
That's right. And
Isn't that amazing?
He had as good a year this year, Don, as he did that year.
He had not a good year last year, though, Kurt. Everybody was a little upset about him. He came back. He said, "Look, I'm a great football player, and I know that. I love
Walden
people
just got it away, and it's taken by Wright on the 14. He's swarmed under by Steelers, and the Vikings continue to have poor field position. Donnie Shell, a rookie, and Sam Davis, the captain of the offensive team, went down to make the hit. Timeout before the Vikings take over. The score, Minnesota nothing, Pittsburgh nothing. Bud Grant bringing his Vikings in for the 3rd time into a Super Bowl. Fran Tarkenton, a quarterback. He's been good and he's been durable. He's never missed a game in his career because of an injury. 1st down, Vikings on their 14. Trying to get outside is Foreman, and he's hit by Jack Ham, the young, excellent outside linebacker. He's going to be one of the greats before he's through, from Johnstown, Pennsylvania, later at Penn State University.
He's already made the All-Pro team this year, Jack Ham. There we go.
One of the things we also want to look at, we mentioned the rollout. Well, the defense of the Pittsburgh Steelers have many maneuvers. You'll see Joe Green occasionally go to the outside, L.C. Greenwood filling to the inside, all both looking for run and particularly rush the pass.
Lash spreads left, and to the right is John Gilliam. 2nd and 12 for the Vikings. They're going against the wind in this period. Targeting, quick hit, and it's good to the 17-yard line to Dave Osborne coming out of the backfield. And there's the rookie, Jack Lambert, the only rookie starter for the Steelers, a middle linebacker. They call him Hayseed. He's tall. Look at him, 6'4".
I'd call him Mr. Hayseed.
I would too. He made a
Mr. on that one.
Made a game-saving tackle against Oakland when he brought down Cliff Branch in the open field.
Key 3rd down situation. Fran is not known for being conservative. He may try to attack Mel Blunt, number 47. He's got Jim Lash on that side, Chuck Foreman, deep.
Gilliam, he's on this side. You got a slot on this side too, yeah.
Targeting's 2 out of 4 in passing. Back he goes again. This is blocked, and it's hit there by L.C. Greenwood. Look at the golden shoes. He stands 6'6.5".
The Steelers
Rover.
Yeah, golden shoes. The thing about it really is, to be redundant, but you've got a guy like this, nobody slowed him down. He's got his goal shoes working, that big hand throwing, and I know from a quarterback standpoint, that's the thing that really does bother you. These big guys, they're getting bigger and taller, but Friend's not a real tall quarterback. He's a little over 6 feet, maybe.
All right, in punt formation, Mike Eischeid. Swan and Edwards are deep. Eischeid kicking against that wind. Sort of nubs this one, but he gets a pretty good bounce for it. This will be an excellent kick when it winds up on the Pittsburgh 47. Right now, as Pittsburgh takes over, let's go down to Charlie Jones. They have a flag drop, by the way. Let's see what this one's about. Might be an eligible member of the kicking team downfield. They have to hold up.
If that's the case, Kurt, it could be a real big plus for the Pittsburgh team, because you check that old computerized football we were talking about, but it really is true. If you've got to kick off, say, another time, or if you have to punt another time, the pressure really is on the kicking team then. They've got to go back and do it again. Whatever it is, it's a big conclave out there. What's he going?
Must be complicated. This is a personal foul, clipping against Minnesota.
And how can you clip when you're kicking? I just ask it. I don't have the answer, folks. Nobody's perfect. They're going to kick it again, it looks like.
Yeah, it'll be half the distance to the goal. He had a 37-yard kick that time with no return.
One of the things that the new kick rule has brought in this year is when the offensive lineman cannot go downfield till the ball's been kicked and all that sort of jazz, but this is called, you can put an awful lot of pressure on old Mike Eischeid right there.
Well, he's been getting a couple of bad snaps so far. We're going to see probably the best field position of the game for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And there's going to be some interesting movement going on at the line of scrimmage, and particularly trying to stop those men coming downfield.
I'd say they're going to be in field goal position no matter what this time.
4th and 16 for the Vikings. Eischeid will kick out of the end zone.
And it's lonely there, Mike. Do it good, son. Do it good.
Swan and Edwards are waiting for the ball in Viking territory. The low kick. Edwards fields it on the 44, trying to get a return right going. 45. Whoa! He saw a man coming, and that is Matt Blair, and he said, "Matt, I don't want you," and he tried to skid to a halt and held up.
This is Matt Blair, I think. What he's trying to do is, you're right, Kurt, they're trying to set it up to the outside. This field is a little bit slippery today. We've had some rains. We mentioned, you can see he just slipped, and that's Matt Blair coming across in there, and he lays one to him. But it's still a good field position. They're in Viking territory inside the 45.
7 minutes, 20 seconds to go in the first period. No score. Neither team is threatened. Pittsburgh's had the better field position. First down. Harrison Blyer behind Bradshaw. Fake to Harris, right over the middle. And he hit Frank Lewis waist high, and he couldn't hold on to the bullet pass. He had inside position on Jackie Wallace. I think that's who they're going to work on in the Viking territory.
Well, there's no doubt about that. But also coming out of the backfield then, and they rarely throw to him, was Rocky Blyer, and he was isolated on Wally Hilgenberg, one-on-one. We might watch for that.
There's a little play fake in there, too, just to add to that comment there. There's a play fake. They fake the ball to Franco Harris to try to hold the middle linebacker in so you can throw that down and in over there. And again, you isolate even more the cornerback.
Second down 10 for the Steelers in the Viking 44. This is a draw play, and Harris only a couple of yards, had to fight his way through Minnesota defenders. Doug Sutherland, who now is a starter, he beat out Gary Larson this year. He's from Bud Grant's hometown of Superior, Wisconsin. Alan Page, so far, playing an awesome game at tackle. Now, Bob Lertzema has come in. Going out is Roy Winston. Randy Podel is in, and Terry Brown is in. And they bring out Wright and Hilgenberg. The Wright stays in. They're looking for a pass on 3rd and 8.
Marshall came out. Yeah, that was who it was.
Bradshaw pass is complete for a first down to Larry Brown, the tight end of Kansas. They don't use him too much, but they got him that time. First down, Steelers.
Again, you see Page, number 88. They're doubling Page. They're coming back in there and getting pretty good this time. Not a great deal of protection, but just enough. The ball was slightly thrown behind Brown. As you said, they haven't used him that much, as you can see by his reception this year, but a real key, I think, today, because they may try to double the 2 outside receivers because of their speed.
6 minutes to go in the first period, no score. The Steelers are threatening. On first down, Blyer jumps over the 25 and is met at the 22-yard line by Wally Hilgenberg of Iowa. He was with the Steelers, by the way, in '67.
You know, it's interesting as you look at these two offenses. One likes to run to its right. That is the Minnesota Vikings. Well, when you've got Ron Yary, you like to do it. With John Call for the Pittsburgh Steelers, they like to go left, and they do it very well.
Pittsburgh, second down 6. They're on the Minnesota 22. Bradshaw has played the best quarterback of his career the last month. There's Franco Harris, who's piled up at the 20-yard line. Jim Marshall, young Jeff Seaman from Sanford, the middle linebacker. One of the coming greats of the game. Carl Eller slid over from his left end position. Now it's a 3rd down and 4 for the Steelers. And coming on are Podol, Terry Brown, and Bob Lertzema in the 14-man huddle. And coming out will be Winston, Hilgenberg, and Seaman. They're down 4. Go for it. There's a slant over the head of Frank Lewis. Trying to get inside position on Wallace. But Bradshaw had a bad pass. He threw it too high.
Well, there was super pressure also. Alan Page moving magnificently. Bob Lertzema coming across. Page constantly coming in, forcing a rather off-balance throw.
Yeah, he threw it too high. That was a little shot of that 5-man line thing that we're talking about. We got Page there. That keeps them from doubling anybody. They're trying to get him where they can't double Page.
37-yard field goal attempt by the leading scorer of the American Conference, Roy Girilla. Bobby Walden is holding. And the kick is up, and the kick is no good. Faded to the left on him. Those goalposts were sticking right up there in front of him. It's a gusting wind today. So the Vikings stop them. We have a timeout in New Orleans. The score, 0-0. Had the Bronze Star and Purple Heart from Vietnam. Hit by Carl Eller first. He slowed him down, then Jeff Wright hopped on top of him. Roger Staubach spent 2 years in Vietnam. And Bob Kelso was killed in action in Vietnam, ex of the Buffalo Bills. His name is on the new county stadium in Buffalo. Bob Curran's suggestion there with the Buffalo Evening News. Pittsburgh on the Minnesota 48. Second down, 5, no score. 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. Shanklin on a flanker reverse at the 50. You notice the players are slipping today. The late tuners, and it's been raining all morning. Flag is down, double flag down. Nate Wright refused to let that play get outside of him.
Well, when you see that kind of a play early, it does tell you something. It tells you that it's awfully tough inside. I kind of think, Kurt, they've got to begin to attack right up the middle. Here's the pursuit. Good fake to the outside. Sutherland never did see the handoff.
Al, you remember when Kansas City beat Minnesota in the Super Bowl championship? They used a lot of similar kind of plays, the reverses. They had Otis Taylor coming back on the route on the outside. Frank Pitts did the same thing, but Minnesota is a pursuit kind of team. They've depended on their front four a lot in the last few years. The linebackers pursue real strong, so if you can usually get around that defensive end, whether it be Eller or Marshall, you've got a pretty good gainer.
The offside penalty against the Vikings. They're going to have a measurement. Having long confabs on these penalties.
Well, we're getting it's a little bit what you call slow in moving out here today, but it's all right.
Now, 15 grand for the winner, 7,500 for the loser. They want to be right.
I still think they ought to play them all like it was 2 minutes to go with no timeouts.
That'd be fun.
Is that the way you play them, Don?
Who knows? It's been so long, I forgot.
Second down and a foot to go. Pittsburgh on the Minnesota 43-yard line. No score, 2:45 remaining in the first period. Delay, and then storming through is Harris at the 35, Harris bangs his way inside the 30 to the Minnesota 28. Jim Marshall had to catch it from behind.
Coming right at you. Here's a man that knows how to run. Good move to the inside. They blocked Eller to the inside.
Good block by Blyer there.
Perfect block.
On Seaman, and he's doing it. Look at Marshall chasing from the other side, Dero.
Yeah, that's great pursuit by the elderly Marshall. Pittsburgh's ball, first down on the Viking 29. One scoring chance for the Steelers. They missed a 37-yard field goal. We're approaching 2 minutes to go in the first period. Bradshaw on the bootleg at the 25-20, and he skips out of bounds. A very dangerous runner. He's a third running back in the backfield.
I was checking some of these pregame statistics, and his average gain per carry is like 5.7, but there's no way that was an option. He was going to run with it from the beginning, had a good flow. You see him trying to direct a little traffic there. Skips over right coming up, lost his balance a little, but he's going to go out of bounds. This is the extra ingredient that a big quarterback has.
He weighs 220 pounds and can move out.
Well, the Steelers have got to get the score now. They've had excellent field position this entire quarter, and time is moving on.
Pittsburgh's ball now. Around the Minnesota 18 with a first down. No score late in the first period. Franco Harris stopped maybe for no gain. And it was Doug Sutherland who hit him there. Second down, 10 to go.
It's probably early to say this, but it appears right now that they are trying to attack both Sutherland and Carl Eller. Now, Carl is a very good experienced player. Maybe they feel like for some reason or other that he plays upfield too much. They can get inside of him and put more pressure on Sutherland. But at least in this first quarter, they've gone in that direction more often than not.
Bradshaw's been ticked off all week and accused of being a dumb player. He said, I have good football sense, and his teammates say the same. Franco Harris, he was stopped at the 16-yard line as he tried to spin away from Alan Page first, then Wally Hilgenberg wrapped him up.
Jeff Seaman appears to have one major assignment, and that assignment is number 32. Wherever Franco goes, that's where he goes. Now we might watch again this maneuver. Going in with 6 defensive backs, we'll see the 2 linebackers coming out. We might look for Larry Brown, number 87.
Gary Brown and Randy Podel are in. Those 2 men went in. Third down and 8. The 2 outside linebackers came out. Pittsburgh converted 1 out of 4 third down chances. Into the corner it goes, and it's tipped away by Jackie Wallace. Jackie Wallace of Arizona on the taxi squad last year. They say you can pick on him, but that was a brilliant play by Wallace from the University of Arizona. And again, Roy Girilla's coming on for a field goal attempt. This will probably be a 33-yard attempt. Let's see where they spot it up. It's on the 23 of Vikings. 33-yard attempt. Second field goal try for the Steelers. They've had the better chances here in the first period with the wind at their back. Fumble. Walden picks it up. He's hemmed in. Down he goes. And again, the Steelers blow a scoring opportunity. Jeff Seaman got him. A low pass could not be handled cleanly by Walden.
There it was. The snap was just slightly to the inside. The ball may have been a little wet.
A little bit low, I think, too. You see Walden, he almost gets to the outside and slips on the turf, Nero.
Yep.
And again, they skid and slip around here on the artificial surface of the Tulane Stadium. First down for Minnesota. And right now they're leading some cat lives here in the first period. May change when they get the wind in the second quarter. Gilliam and Lash are in a slot right. Targeting and throwing most of the time. And he hands it off. And this Pittsburgh defense is tough. Osborne is stopped. Oakland had only 29 yards rushing in the entire game in the championship game of the American Football Conference. That was Mad Dog Dwight White making the stop.
He's been sick all week. We know it. They said he's going to go as far as he possibly can. There's no way when you get this chance to play in the Super Bowl that you're going to miss it.
That's true, especially a guy like Dwight White. There you go, Dwight White, because he is a super football player, very competitive.
And there's the gun. That's the end of the first period. The score, Pittsburgh nothing, Minnesota nothing. Grant Targeton and the preceding announcement furnished to the public service by the National Football League. Kurt Gowdy, Al.D. Rogatis, Don Meredith, and Charlie Jones take you into the second period. Minnesota did not make 1 yard rushing in the first quarter and 20 yards passing. Pittsburgh had 61 yards rushing, 18 passing, a total of 79 yards. Second down, 9 to go for the Vikings on their 23. No score. Targeting, rolling away, under the gun, flips it quickly out to Chuck Foreman, and there's the man that the Steelers will have to stop this afternoon. He led all the running backs in pro football in per average catching passes.
Chuck Foreman, 53 receptions, 15 touchdowns, 9 by the rush, 6 by the pass, out of the backfield. One of Fran's big plays, and Joe Green is giving him pursuit.
But he's still rolling out to the outside, Al, and that's, I think, going to be a key. They didn't make a yard rushing, as Kurt just said, but this, the Foreman, he's the double guy. He can catch it and he can run with it too. So we're going to have to see. They've got the wind behind them now, Kurt.
Right, Don. First down. Vikings under 35. Their first down. Targeting rolling out again.
Stu Boyd's open.
And it's tipped in the air, and Wagner was going for it, 23, and couldn't quite get it.
A lot of people have criticized Tarkenton throughout his career. 14 years, I guess he's going to do this year. One of the criticisms has been he's too short. Never could play. Get a big tall defensive line against him. He can't throw over him. Twice today we've had people knock the ball down. Ernie Holmes is coming in right there.
That's Andy Maurer.
And 35. Let's see who does knock it down. It wasn't Ernie Holmes, I know that.
Okay, first, it's now 2nd and 10. Again, Fran likes the unusual. Keep your eye on Lambert. He again may try to go straight at him.
That front four of Pittsburgh, Greenwood 6'6 and a half, Joe Green 6'4, Holmes is 6'3, White 6'5. Second down 10 for the Vikings. Oh, look at that, Ernie Holmes. Look at that charge at Holmes on Dave Osborne. He almost tackled the ball, the quarterback, and the runner at the same time.
We're seeing just beautiful defense. Andy Maurer has moves to the inside.
Trying to cut him off, D-Roll. He didn't make that cutoff block.
Ernie Holmes. Quick trap did not work.
Old Arrowhead.
That's old Arrowhead. He's got his got an arrow right on top of his head. That's the way it's shaved or something. I think he's the most underrated lineman they've got out there. Oh, we've heard a lot about all of them. Ernie Holmes we've heard about too. But he's going to be in the middle of things all day. Ernie Holmes.
That's why he has his arrow cut in the shape of an arrow for an identity.
That's right. We're all seeking identity somewhere along the line.
He just got it there on the ball run. Third down. Targeting. Look at this rush on him. Look at this. Look at this. He's going to have to unload. And it is nearly intercepted by Andy Russell. It was meant for Gilliam and Russell. 34 was right in front of him. What a pass rush those Steelers have.
Oh, yeah, and that's really going to cause them trouble all day. If they can't run, then they're really in trouble.
The Steelers were number 1, 52 sacks. The Rams were second in the league. Little tempers over here against the sideline. That's Lambert, John Gilliam, Glenn Edwards. In punt formation now is Eyeshide. He's been a busy punter today. And backer Lynn Swan, the rookie. Glenn Edwards, double safety for the Steelers. Eyeshide has the wind at his back this period. It's coming to Edwards at the flag drop. He's at the 30, 35. And another flag goes down. A double flag. And that flag started down before Edwards caught the ball.
Yeah, it did.
Pittsburgh does not fair catch. They had only 3 fair catches all year. They like to run up in a punt and gamble. Well, let's see what this one's about. We just started the second period. There's no score. The Steelers have dominated the statistics. They've tried 2 field goals. Got one off, missed, couldn't get the second one off. Didn't cash in on their opportunities in the first period. Minnesota's not had a scoring chance.
Maybe I'm giving too much attention to the weather, but I thought Pittsburgh outplayed them really heavy in the first quarter, but did not score, which I think is maybe important, because I think the wind will be a factor, and we'll see what happens if Minnesota's got the wind at their back.
This penalty is going against Pittsburgh. The Vikings, Fran Tarkenton's on the phone. Jerry Burns is upstairs for the Vikings, the offensive coach.
Son of a preacher man, there he is.
Frank O'Hara says, what's this all about? Hilgenberg's coming in now to talk to him. We'll get a signal. The personal foul, tripping against the Steelers. Now, for the first time, the Steelers are set back deep in their own territory. They're on their 14 for the first down. They've established a running game. They've had 61 yards rushing so far. Bradshaw gives the ball to Franco Harris, and he rumbles around. He's up to the 20. See how he can get outside? When he gathers that momentum, he can accelerate. He's taken out by Jeff Seaman, the middle linebacker.
Part of the attitude must be that they're going to try to get to the outside of Carl Eller.
Again, a reverse.
That little step and that little roll around got just enough of the flow to the inside to get the big man out.
You saw Winston didn't quite get there either. That was number 60 that came in there, going around Eller on that outside, but they got the good gain on that first down play.
Now, Don, the Steelers have their kid receivers in. Stallworth on the left, 82. Swan, 88 on the right. And they're both burners. Excellent rookie outside receivers. Steelers are deep. 4 excellent receivers. Bradshaw fading. Here it is, deep to Stallworth. Right. Deep.
Good
and
play.
it is broken up by Jackie Wallace. He nearly gathered it in, but not quite. But he had Stallworth, the rookie of Alabama A&M, smothered down the sideline.
Kirchie hit it right on the nose. They did have their speedsters in, but I got to give a lot of credit to this Wallace because he had great position on where that court ball was coming from and the receiver. And a defensive back, I am told, and I really do believe it, it's one of the most difficult positions to play because there's so many rules that permit them from getting physical. They've got to play this whole thing out of finesse. He had good position all the way down that time.
All right, the 14-man huddle, they break out of it. Winston, Hilgenberg, and Seaman come out. Terry Brown, Podol in the secondary, and Lurtzema to rush the passer.
And a 5-man line.
3rd down and 4. Bradshaw setting up, fires, and it's good to the 31-yard line. Immediately a flag is dropped. Lynn Swan, who catches the ball, he's an acrobatic rookie. Flag has been dropped.
Could be a mask, grabbing the face mask, because that flag went down immediately.
Oh, Pittsburgh.
Offensive pass interference. You don't
That
see
is
that
a
one
tough
too often.
one.
He might have pushed off on him. Let's watch it.
One of the things, when they've got the 5-man line, they usually got man-to-man coverage back here. You'll see Swan coming up, giving a little push off. He's bigger than right, comes back in, gives himself position. Good call by the official.
Well, I'd have to dispute it, but if you say so,
Nobody's
okay.
perfect. I just, that's why we talk about the defensive backs. They've got a tough job back there, Al, because they can't use those hands. They're really usually looking for them. That time, to me, the offensive receiver did push off with the defensive back. Chew that gum, bud.
It was called on Swan. 3rd down, 14 to go. No score in this game. 13-15 remaining in the first half. Here's a draw play to Blair. The ball pops loose. Who's got it? Looks like the Vikings. Our first turnover.
And a biggie.
Randy Podol on it. Flyer had it pop loose, and Randy Podol, the rookie of Stanford, recovered. And here's the Vikings' first scoring chance.
All right, the thing they're trying to do with a draw, they're going conservative with a draw rather than throw. A play right there. Rocky Blyer fumbles, can't get the handle on it. Krause misses it. It comes back up. Foley gets it.
Well, Minnesota's ball now. First down. They're on the Pittsburgh 24. First time the Vikings have been in Pittsburgh territory. Markinen, an opportunist. Vikings play it this way. They wait for a mistake.
They've got to run, though, Kurt. They're not doing that. Look at that defensive line and the defensive unit of Pittsburgh. Man, they're all over him.
Jack Ham and Lambert hitting Dave Osborne. We're going to pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network. NBC back with you in New Orleans. 2nd down, 8. Minnesota's ball in the Pittsburgh 22. A bruising defensive battle so far.
And a man that's always in the middle of it is number 27, Glenn Edwards. Run or pass, he's there.
Gilliam is flanked right. Jim Lash to the left. Minnesota's had to move in the air. They faked the draw play. Markinen throws a shorty out, and it is incomplete, intended for Chuck Foreman, who had slithered out of the backfield and gone to the sideline. Let's see if Wagner was holding on this one.
Well, he's only pretty good. I don't know what you're going to call that. What they're trying to do is, again, double those two outside receivers. They don't really feel that Stu Boyd has the speed to tear him up that much down the middle. I think Tarkenton was looking for Boyd at that time, and they did have him pretty well covered, and he had to come back to a secondary receiver, which was Foreman.
He also very much respects that middle of that secondary. He's going to the outside. He's staying away from those two boys. They move to the ball extremely well.
3rd and 8. Tarkenton, under ferocious pressure, has hit only 3 out of 11. A slot left now. 3rd and 8 for the Vikings. This pass is too high for Chuck Foreman. Down around the 5-yard line. Mike Wagner, the strong safety, was there with him. 4th and 8. And coming on is Fred Cox, who hit 12 out of 20 field goals this year. And I don't believe Tarkenton has looked at many more pass rushes like this one that he's had to go against today.
I don't think he's seen that many of them either. You're seeing they're having a little talk here on the sideline, but they were really well covered downfield, and he was still getting a pretty good rush.
Paul Krause will hold. This will be a 39-yard attempt by Fred Cox. Cox's kick is up, and that kick is no good to the right. Pittsburgh has blown 2 scoring opportunities. Minnesota has blown 1. So it continues. A defensive struggle in the score. Minnesota nothing, Pittsburgh nothing. The Steeler defense continuing to play the way they did against Oakland. Oakland had 29 yards rushing the whole game. The Vikings have been held to 1 yard rushing in this game net. First down. Pittsburgh on their 22. Rocky Bleier, he's buried under right at the 22-yard line. And Jeff Seaman, number 50, quickly brought him down. 2nd down, 10 for Pittsburgh. Just under 12 minutes remaining in the first half. NBC hopes you're enjoying Super Bowl IX. Steelers had problems with their offense during the first part of the season, but only 7 teams scored more than 300 points this year in the NFL, and the Steelers were 1. They came on strong the latter part of the season. The defense was great all year long. Franco Harris and the Vikings stopped him.
The way it's going.
That's 60. Roy Winston,
and the
Louisiana State.
The way it's going, Kurt, it may well be the defense of either team that might do the scoring in this game or set up that situation. We saw the fumble earlier. We may see the interception also.
Coming in again are Terry Brown and Randy Podol in the secondary. Bob Lertzema up front. Hilgenberg, Winston, and Seaman go out. All 3 linebackers. 3rd down, 8 for Pittsburgh from their 24. Bradshaw quick with the stalwart. The speedster is brought down. First down, and he's 46. Listen, he can shake it.
You bet he can.
Okay, let's look at this from the ground. That's as close as you're going to get to Terry. Bradshaw, very cool, very confident. Put it right where you should put it. This is going to be a great football player, that Stallworth.
Yeah, he's got the best hands, I'm told, as anybody on the league. I'm told that by Bradshaw, but the guy is a rookie. He was right there at the right spot. The little breaking down end pattern has the best effect of eliminating a good, strong rush. These guys are rushing hard all day. If you can throw it quick over their heads, they're not going to come as fast.
Bradshaw said he was going to set up a little shorter today than usual. He has. That's Bleier. Bleier has a hole, and he's into Minnesota territory at the Minnesota 48, where Jeff Seaman hung it on him.
We saw him in the Rose Bowl. Now we see him in the Super Bowl, Jeff Seaman, and he is an excellent middle linebacker.
He's hanging in the middle, but look at that job they're doing on him in there. He's trying to cut back. You know, I think you mentioned something earlier, D-Row. They're keying an awful lot on Franco Harris, which you'd expect.
Right.
If Rocky Bleier can have a good day, it's sure going to change the complexion of this ball game.
Pittsburgh on the Minnesota 48 with a 2nd down, 4. No score. Franco Harris. Harris to the Minnesota 46-yard line. Roy Winston and Jeff Seaman combined.
Carl Eller, again, one time an awesome figure. Maybe not what he was, but still an excellent one. Gordon Gravel drives him to the inside. Good block.
They're trying to hook Eller in or out. They're definitely working on him. They've been trying to work on Jackie Wallace in the secondary. But Wallace won't have any part of it. He's been excellent on defense in the secondary. All right, here's Stallworth coming out to the left. It's third down and a yard to go. He's the only wide man out. Two tight ends are in. The quick pitch to Blyer. Blyer stopped. Oh, there's a great hit for you by Jeff Seaman, who's ranging sideline to sideline. Jeff Seaman, number 50.
Seaman, middle linebacker for the Vikings. Lambert, middle linebacker for Pittsburgh. Both real keys. Look at the pursuit here. Winston, number 60, is going to come up, but it's Seaman that throws that first hit in there. That's Winston is the outside linebacker on that side. They both get him. A big play for him because they were moving a little bit on him. You've got to have something to slow him down.
Pittsburgh has outgained the Vikings by far, but the Vikings continue to make key defensive plays. In punt formation, Bobby Walden, second leading punt average of a career of the active players in the National Football League, kicking against the wind. Shell and Garrett are the outside men going down for the field. Hanging this one up, end over end. It is bounding around, taken on the 6-yard line.
Oh, wow. Not a good move
Sam
there.
McCullum, a rookie, tried to grab that when they called a fair catch up around the 15. And now the Vikings pin back deep again. Let's take a timeout here at Tulane Stadium. It is still 0-0. The Vikings come out with a first down on their 7-yard line. Gilliam and Lash are in a slot right. Minnesota's not moved on the ground. Stopped cold by the Steelers. Foreman. He squirms for a couple or 3 yards out to his 10-yard line. Number 47, Mel Blunt, the right cornerback of Southern University. Andy Russell, the right cornerback, were on that hit. On the 10-yard line, a 3-yard gain, 2nd and 7. Chuck Foreman, second string tight end Doug Kingsrider, and Jim Lash have played in 2 successive Super Bowls in their first 2 years in the NFL. They must think it's easy.
Yeah, they'll get spoiled if you don't watch them. 3 out of 12 ain't a good day.
Second down, 7. Vikings have the win. Fumble, look out here, and it is
Safety time.
a safety.
You betcha.
A safety, and Pittsburgh has scored. Osborne and Tarkinen were going for it. Got away from Tarkinen. Greenwood was putting the heat on, and it's a safety.
All right. Only we've been feeling this. It looks like the things are physically. That's White coming in after Brent. It's a mix-up, obviously, in the handoff. But, you know, he saved himself 5 points by jumping on it because it could have been a touchdown the other way.
So now we'll have the free kick from the 20. And our first score is a safety, fittingly, in a defensive struggle.
Boy, it sure is fitting, and it was an odd kind of a call, really, tossing that ball the way Francis
You know,
did.
I got a feeling it's supposed to be a fake, and the thing just slipped out of his hand. We'll never know.
All right, before they line up for the free kick, again, it's Pittsburgh 2 and Minnesota 0. And it's been the steel curtain so far for the Steelers. Greenwood, Green, Holmes, and White up front. Now deep we have Harrison, Swan, and on the near side, Dick Kahn received this free kick. Bounding around. And it is Harrison gambling and trying to dive for it. It goes out of bounds. It'll be the Steelers' ball. First down, Pittsburgh at their own 35-yard line. Let's check the offensive yardage for both teams so far. 7 minutes and 2 seconds remain in the first half of the Super Bowl. 2-0 Pittsburgh. They have the young receivers in. They'll play a lot today. They were going to rely on them, Stallworth and Swan. They've nearly beaten out Lewis and Shanklin the latter part of the season. Bradshaw on a play action. Flips it to Blyer. Blyer out of bounds at the 40. Blyer had to come back for the ball. He might have gone farther. Roy Winston right there with him.
Another play action pass. You see him fake the ball to Harris first. That's to hold those linebackers in there. Eller lets Blyer go by the ball. I think he's thrown a little bit behind him. So in the bottom of the 4th inning, it looks like Pittsburgh's ahead 2-0.
Well, they've had good defense, good pitching,
You bet.
strong
Good
down the
pitching.
middle,
The
good double
curveball's
play.
working inside out. Throw a knuckle at him every now and then. Make the high hopper work.
Second down, 5. or two on Monday Night Baseball.
Son of a gun. Here it comes. Look out. Hilgenberg.
Hilgenberg hanging on to end. Drops him at the 42-yard line of the Steelers. 3rd and 3. The Steelers have had 126 yards total offense to 36 for Minnesota.
From the ground, let's take a look at it. The footing's a bit difficult. Franco is not quite the traction that we've seen him move. Hilgenberg holds on well, or there was a pretty good gainer there.
Yeah, he did his job. You know,
Yep.
Hilgenberg goes up. He's got to close it to the inside. They pull Mullins out to go and lead that thing. They just didn't get him out there quick enough to kick Hilgenberg out.
3rd and 3 for the Steelers. This safety, by the way, is the first in Super Bowl history. So we have a history maker today.
I like to be part of first.
Here's a quick pitch to Stallworth.
Great.
Great play by Jackie Wallace. Wallace right on top of it, had a diagnose, and made a tremendous hit on Stallworth.
So far today, and he's made 2 great defensive plays. You see, now Stallworth had taken a couple of steps forward. That wasn't too good a fake to let you know I'm going to go deep. So that's going to let Wallace key on him quicker, and he did. He came up as soon as he saw him go back. They obviously know that Pittsburgh has this kind of play. He made a good defensive play to come up in there. Wallace also made a good play on him on Stallworth a while ago when he went deep.
Right, he's back now along with Sam McCullum. It's 4th down and 9, and the Vikings should have pretty fair position, operating position when they get this ball, unless something happens at the line of scrimmage. The kick, boomed out by Walden, backing up the goal. That's a great kick against the wind. McCullum at the 15 to the 20, and they don't get that position. A low driving spiral that you need against the wind, and Walden did it. 49-yard punt by veteran Bobby Walden. Right now, let's go down to Charlie Jones.
Talking about the wind, you've been talking about it. Actually, it's a high wind because if you check the flags in the corners of the field, it's really not blowing that much. Here's a program note. NBC next Saturday and Sunday will be in Tucson for the Dean Martin Tucson Open. Looking forward to that one.
All right, Charlie, 1st down. Vikings on their 20. They're behind 2-0. They have not been able to move with their offense. Been all passing. Gilliam's pass is over the head of John Gilliam. Flag is down.
Got old Mel
35.
Blunt.
You may have a holding here in the secondary. Gilliam trying to get open at the Viking 35. Let's see what they call.
I think it's going to be interference against Blunt, and every Super Bowl needs a Mel Blunt in it. He was the guy that came out early this week and said, oh, yeah, of course, there are 2 or 3 teams better in the AFC than Minnesota, but we're looking forward to playing them anyway.
That's like Namath when they played the Colts in Super Bowl III, said, oh, there's better quarterbacks in the American Football League than Earl Morrall.
But if you can do it, it ain't bragging.
That's right. 1st down, Minnesota on their 35. 2-0, Pittsburgh ahead. 5 minutes to go in the 1st half. Osborne stopped. They just can't run on it. That's L.C. Greenwood, or Dwight White, 78 on him. For a man that's been in the hospital all week, he's playing quite a game.
They must have fed him well.
And for a situation where the interception becomes a big factor, this is where the Steelers like to get you. They like to have you in a long yardage situation. That big rush will be coming, that secondary that moves so very well.
Alan Don, let me ask you think the Vikings will be able to run it all anytime during this game against them?
If I were quarterback for the Vikings, I'd be worried about it right now.
2nd down, 11. Gilliam and Lashley spread out to the left. Targeting, rolling
He's
right.
got him open down the middle.
There you had a man open that time, Chuck Foreman. They put their wide receivers left, then rotated right and hit Foreman coming out of the backfield.
You know, I think he came back. It's going to be short of that 1st down, which is another key thing. Let's throw out an old cliche. Oh, it's a game of inches here, folks, in America. Let's see what Foreman did. He did catch a rollout pattern. He had Gilliam open back across the middle. Much easier to see from up here than down there. I don't know where he went out of bounds, but it is very close for that 1st down. I think he's a little bit short.
I believe so, too. He's just short of the 45. Tarkenton was over there, but they want to measure for sure.
Yeah, it's one of the things, Kurt. You spend a lot of time all year, and actually, you know, a lot of these guys have been in here like Fran for 14 years. Little things, little details that you try to pick up. If you're in a situation, especially if that had been 3rd down, it can be very costly. If you're going down, you're going to catch the ball. Guys, let's get us the 1st down out of this thing. It's not going to help us that much to be 4th down and short like that. And it looks to me they're going to be a little bit short on this one. Maybe I'm wrong. And I am, I think. It'll be the first time I've been wrong since 1968.
since the
Good
pregame
record.
show.
I remember it well. Yes.
Yes.
I was wrong.
Chuck Knox.
Yes, I thought he was right, but he was wrong for 9 years. What'd I tell you? Adios.
4 minutes and 23 seconds to go in the first half. Steelers leading 2-0. It'll be a third down play on the 45-yard line. Vikings have not converted on 5 third down occasions. Gilliam comes out, and Kingsrider will join Stu Voigt as a double tight end situation. Third down and inches to go. Now they're holding something up, waiting for a chain to get set across the way, and they get the Vikings back in the huddle.
Well, Fran's going for the first down, but we do know the son of the preacher man likes to gamble. He won't do it here, Donald, though.
He won't? You know, I think he's already got in his mind. He says, I got to go to my junk stuff today, because I don't think he thinks he can beat them straight out.
They've had only 3 yards rushing. All he needs a couple of inches here for a critical play. Foreman has it. Chuck Foreman dives for the first down and gets it. And the Vikings now can continue their drive. Minnesota's ball on their 46-yard line. Chuck Foreman was the man the Steelers feared today, especially coming out of the backfield to catch passes. They knew they had to stop him. He didn't play much running back at the University of Miami. He was a wide receiver. So he has the instinct and the sense to come out and maneuver.
Was he their leading receiver this year?
That's right.
Foreman's the leading receiver and like the leading rusher also. And then on the other side, you got Franco Harris, who's the second leading receiver and the leading rusher. So they both use their fullback.
Vikings ball first down out of a slot left formation. Targeting rolling right against him. He flips it out and nobody's there. He just got rid of it. They're not calling illegally grounding a forward pass, arguing on that. Ernie Holmes said, look, he just threw it away. Nobody there.
I think he did.
Well, I'm pretty sure he did, but it's one of those things I guess it's hard to call. It's almost an insult. You say you can't tell whether it's a throwaway or not. I used to throw a lot of those.
Well, here's a good look at it. Ron Yeri, who's getting excellent position.
He's trying to go deep now, and he can't get deep, and he's getting too much pressure. You're right, so he just throws it away.
Look at that Greenwood right in there on
Yeah.
him. Those were some of your good passes,
You bet.
weren't they?
That was awful. They call my best passes as intentional grounding.
Second down 10. Pittsburgh ahead 2-0 late in the second period. Pittsburgh fans are booing. They thought they should have called the illegal grounding. Targeting tries to give it to Foreman for a run and a couple of yards to the 48 of Minnesota. Number 78 is Dwight White, aided by Jack Lambert, the rookie middle linebacker. Now it's a 3rd and 8 for the Vikings.
There are times when folks get the feeling that maybe we talk too much about Joe Green, but the way this big, quick man plays that hole on the outside shoulder of the guard, in the gap, he's generally positioning himself so at least 2 and sometimes 3 people are concerned, there he is, Mean Joe, about the moves that he'd make.
He might line up halfway facing the center. He likes to blast him and then move on in. He weighs 275 and very quick. Again, that slot left. 3rd and 8 for the Vikings from their own 48. Targeting trying to go, and he hits Foreman. He's got it for a first down. Bounced up and right back again. So that's the one combination that's working for the Vikings, Tarkington to Foreman.
Whenever you get out in a formation like this, you're pretty well saying, I'm not going to run, but you also can dictate pretty well what kind of defensive coverage you're going to get. He hit him right in the hands. He bobbled it, was fortunate enough for it to come back down in his hands. He picked it up, and they got a first down.
Let's look at that entire zone. This is a beautiful call by Fran. The inside move, you'll see it right there on J.T. Thomas. Little volleyball shot.
First down Vikings, 36-yard line of the Steelers. Foreman tripped up as he stumbled forward to the 31-yard line. He's the leading ball carrier for the Vikings with 10 yards.
That's their longest run of the day right there, I think.
4 yards. L.C. Greenwood brought him down. They're going to be approaching a 2-minute warning in a minute. It is on the 31-yard line of Pittsburgh, 2nd down 6. Ed Marinero has replaced Chuck Foreman now. And the 2-minute warning has been flashed to Grant and Knoll. And the score, Pittsburgh 2, Minnesota nothing. 5 out of 15 for Tarkenton. He'll come back to the line of scrimmage now with a 2nd and 6. Chuck Foreman lost his shoe, while Marinero came in to replace him, 49. Marinero is an excellent receiver also coming out of the backfield. Marinero and Osborne. Pittsburgh ahead 2-0 as we head into the last 2 minutes of the first half. Tarkenton throwing it out, and it is complete to Stu Voigt at the 27-yard line of Pittsburgh. Voigt, the tight end.
Okay, once again, pressure, and how does the quarterback handle it? Ernie Holmes gets around Maurer, gets also around Mick Tingelhoff, puts big pressure. Francis took a little duck and released it and completed it.
That was his sidearm curve that slipped in there in good shape. But, you know, you got to have all those pitches to stay in the big leagues for that long, man. He's 14 years, and now when we were around him, it was they did need to get it down a little bit closer to stop the clock, and that's what it did. They're really getting great pressure, though.
2nd down, 2. Or 3rd and 2. 3rd and 2. Vikings on the Pittsburgh 27. Foreman's back in. Foreman and Osborne. They'll try and throw it, and it's a quick hit to the 25. He may have a first down. Catching the ball is Osborne. They only wanted those 2 or 3 yards. Jack Lambert hit him. First down for the Vikings, and they're just chipping away, picking away with short passes. All rollouts, no setting up back there, trying to get away from that pass rush. Targeted rolling right, rolling right, rolling right.
And as he continues that rolling right, remember, he loves the surprise, and every once in a while he explodes John Gilliam.
Vikings have all their timeouts left. They're on the 25-yard line of Pittsburgh for the first down. Now he fades straight out of the pocket.
Got him.
He's
got
Gilliam, it's intercepted by Mel Blunt. The ball popped high in the air in the end zone. And the Steelers intercept. They're a great takeaway team.
Hey, that's got to be super. You talk about some coverage. He did have Gilliam open down there. Good protection this time. We're isolated on Gilliam going across the middle. Zero, help me. I don't know who it was that hit him.
He goes right at the teeth of it. We said earlier.
But he's open there. Look at him.
He was going away from it, but watch the safety man, Glenn Edwards, always coming. That is a pop.
It was Edwards, a good pop. It bounced up in the air. Mel Blunt's 47 over there. He's watching it come through.
Super.
As Osborne makes that tackle, you saw Blunt slip a little bit.
All with 1:07 to go in the first half. Pittsburgh has its first takeaway. Each team has had 1 turnover.
Bradshaw still got it.
Trying to get outside. They got him.
He better put that ball away.
He hugs that ball inside. Jim Marshall brought him down.
You know, you never know what I don't know what they got called. Let's look at it from an end zone camera. He's faking to Franco. If our game against Oakland, Bradshaw had the ball out in one hand. Could have been a big fumble. He's trying to run to the outside. Can't get anywhere. Bryant's coming up. No, that's Wright's coming up. Almost. No, he does. He says, I'm sorry. I'm going to just lay down here for a minute. That's Marshall that finally gets him.
Well, let me say this. 2-0 sounds like a dull football game, but it is one of the best defensive football games I've seen, at least this first half. Both teams have been just outstanding.
56 seconds to go. And the Vikings call a timeout. They have 2 left. They want the ball back again.
You bet. And they got that win in the face of the Pittsburgh team. But what are they going to do? They need to poke them down. They had pretty good position that last time. They could have very possibly gotten a field goal. We'd have had a 3-2 working here at halftime.
Franco Harris is 36 yards. Rocky Blyer has 44 yards in rushing. Bradshaw is 5 out of 9. The leading rusher, which tells the story of the Pittsburgh defense, the leading rusher for Minnesota is Chuck Foreman with 10 yards. And Tarkenton is 7 out of 18. It's 2-0. Bud Grant take his club into the locker room and try and do something to nudge Pittsburgh open. This is Franco Harris. Harris is up to the 15, to the 20, 25, and he goes out of bounds. He's carried out of bounds by Krause and Wallace, but it's a first down for the Steelers, and also they stopped the clock.
Franco Harris, big, awesome. Jim Marshall makes too much of an inside move there. Jerry Mullins paid no attention to him. Good block on Hilgenberg by Mullins. Big man from Penn State takes off. Good play.
Franco Harris is 65 yards rushing.
I think he's going to be a good football player, don't you, Kurt?
He may make it.
Yeah.
You don't think that? You should leave the booth.
I guess.
2-0, Pittsburgh ahead, 49 seconds to go in the first half. Steelers first down. Flyer hit quickly by Seaman, who's been a standout for the Vikings today.
Boy, that's for sure. He's really playing great football in there.
Rocky lost a yard. Second down, 9.
I think on the play before, the Vikings expected Steelers to try to run the clock out sort of thing into the inside, and we did get a good shot of Marshall closing in real fast. Seaman was probably caught up in the middle, too, because he didn't get out for the pursuit on that play before when Harris made his big run.
Steelers in their own territory. Do not call a timeout. They have their full complement left. Bradshaw scrambling out of the pocket. 35 to the 40. Breaks it at the 45. Still going. Slammed at the 50 and is stopped at the 50-yard line.
What's going on now?
Still going, but they blew him dead back at the 50. It's back at the 50, Terry. Oh, he's a horse.
I think that's the end of the first half.
And that's the end of the first half. Bradshaw said they never stopped me. He was trying to get out of bounds and go for that field goal. So that's the end of the first half from New Orleans. And our score is Pittsburgh 2, Minnesota nothing. They won the opening toss and elected to receive. Gorilla's going to kick off. Normally, he kicks them high and deep. He is a deeper kicker than Cox. Back are Brent McClanahan, a second-year player, 33, and Sam McCullum, a rookie.
The rookie is the fellow that could have let that, what appeared to be a punt that might have gotten into the end zone, that he fell on, that preceded the safety.
That was in that if and buts category that I was talking about before the game.
Well, so far you're a little bit behind.
I'm close.
2-0.
He
It's
slipped,
a slip kick. And it is fumbled by McCullum and just saved. Let's see who's got it. Right down there at the bottom of the pile is Marv Kellum. Kellum recovered. 54.
You know,
let's look at all the way from the ground. There are times when if and buts.
Look at his foot slip out. That's the soccer style, and this field has been slick. That ball was not kicked the way he was trying to kick it, but it turned out well. That's one of those almost things. Boom, boom, Brown didn't quite get the handle on it.
Let me correct that. Brown fumbled the ball, and Marv Kellum, who played on an 8-man high school football team at Lecompton, Kansas, recovered. Big break for the Steelers to open the second half. Right away, they go with a run. Blyer stopped cold at the 30. No gain. Second down, 10. Same backfield. Blyer and Harris behind Bradshaw. Wide receivers. They're going with the youngsters, Stallworth and Swan in the second half. 82 and 88. Brown the tight end. Gravel and Kolb the tackles. Mullins and Clack at guards. Mansfield at center, the Lone Ranger. Franco Harris pushes through at the 20, 15, get the block, he may go! No, he's pushed out. Carl Eller saved it, Eller pushed him out.
Well, Kurt, this thing is really turned around here, and this is the bread and butter man all year. Franco Harris off tackle following Blyer's block and kicks Hilgenberg out. Seaman couldn't get there. This is Eller. Watch Eller, number 81. He's the one that makes the tackle. Krause missed him first.
Stallworth made a fine block right there at the end.
All right, take it again, Nero.
Let's take a look at this.
They got pace going to the outside.
Go to Kolb's side also again. Now here comes, you saw that coming across, John Stallworth coming back to the inside.
First down, goal to go. Pittsburgh on the Minnesota 6. Harris pulled down. Wally Hilgenberg knifed in from the outside right and dropping for a loss.
If we said the Vikings are a right-handed team, it appears that the Pittsburgh Steelers run better to their left. They've been very awesome to that side.
Second down, 9 to go for a Pittsburgh touchdown. Coming out, Greg Larson. He was in there in the goal line fence. And Paul Krause is in there as free safety right now.
They can't make a first down, Kurt. I think that'll be important. They got second down and goal now.
Second down 9.
Look at that opening up there.
Running to the flag.
Oh,
over.
wow.
Pittsburgh scores. Jerry Mullins threw the block for him.
Boy, did he throw a block, Kurt. You call it right on the button. They go to their left. They've been running so beautifully there.
Counter step.
172, the man from USC. Here's the block. Great block.
On Hilgenberg. Seaman can't get there.
And Franco Harris is 99 yards rushing. Now the extra point. Bobby Walden will spot it. The Steelers have struck quickly in the opening of the second half. It is up, and it is good. Flag down.
Well, this is going to put a lot more pressure on Tarkington than he even had in the first half, I think, because they obviously are going to be behind at least 9 points, and assuming they, or 8 points, assuming they kick this, it'll be 9. He didn't have a running game in the first half. Now, what's he going to do this second half, Dino?
He's got problems. At the top of the show, we talked about Harrison, we talked about Chuck Foreman, we talked about the 2 quarterbacks. I'll tell you, Franco Harris, in the second half of the season, after he got over the injuries, has been one of the finest backs that we've seen in a long time. He is the fullback, the epitome of the fullback.
Well, I guess his offsides against Minnesota, so I put him a little bit closer here. Distance is not the thing now.
Offside, evidently there it is. The right guard, or the right tackle's offside. They'll boot it again. This one's up, and it is good. Oh, they line up now. Pittsburgh kicking off. He'll do the kicking off. Gorilla. It's Pittsburgh 10, Pittsburgh 9, and Minnesota nothing. Gorilla to kick off again. Deep are McCullum and McClanahan. And here's the typical Gorilla kick. McCullum, the rookie, on the 1-yard line. To the 20, has a hold and is suddenly tripped up there. And number 51, Lauren Taves, was the man that tripped him up. All-American rugby player at California. This is Sam McCullum of Montana State. Let's go down to Charlie Jones.
This program note in 1975, NBC Sports will continue to bring the most live coverage of tennis telecast by a network. It starts on February the 23rd, WCT 75. Let's get back to the Super Bowl.
First down, Vikings on their 28. Tarkington with a slot right formation. And Osborne.
Oh.
Man, they're just running into that steel wall. Every time they carry the ball, it was Ernie Holmes who burrowed underneath number 63. 2-yard gain, second down 8.
Earlier we saw the Pittsburgh Steelers try to employ that end around, bringing Frank Lewis back. At some point, Fran is going to have to do something like that. The middle right now has just been devastating defensively against them.
Second down 8. Vikings on their 30 have not been able to run the ball. They're trying to get something going. That's Chuck Foreman on a counter play. And he's to his 32-yard line where L.C. Greenwood and Joe Green take it. Now it's third down and 6. You might wonder why they kicked that extra point over. Encroachment had been called on the Vikings. They had charged and touched the Pittsburgh player. They blew the whistle dead, so they made him kick it over. 9-0. Steelers ahead. Lauren Taves is the 4th linebacker now. Ernie Holmes has left the field. Steelers are looking for the pass. Slot left again. Roll out left. Targeted. Flips it to Foreman. Foreman goes down, and he may be short of a first down. Andy Russell was there on top of him.
That's about the 5th time I can think of that we've seen a player slip today. Not, again, to be redundant, but I guess it does have some effect on it. If a team relies on speed and quickness, maybe that would be a factor, but it appears that they're going to be short of their first down. And if the Vikings needed to establish some sort of drive, it appeared to me that it would be this time, because they're getting equipped physically right in that front line. It seems like the defensive line's charge is pushing the offensive line back about a half-yard, so they got to open it up a little bit.
They bring the yardsticks out.
They're going to go for it, it looks like. That tells you something, too. This is in the third quarter, folks.
Ernie Holmes is back in. They're a foot short. And they have the ball on their 38-yard line.
It does tell you something. This could be the big play of the game for the Vikings.
I think more than that, Nero, it just tells you that the Vikings realize they've got to take all chances today. It's, you know, there's no tomorrow. Let's get this thing working.
Look at that mass up front for the Steelers. There's nobody deep. Nobody's back. 11 men front almost.
He was trying to pull him offside.
There's no flag that I can see.
There is no flag. You're right.
But it did take an awful long time.
Well, he'll probably punt it now, but that was the objective. Let's take another look at it. Boy, you can get awfully impatient.
Everybody says, now, wait a minute. wait a minute here.
That's Lambert that reached over with his hand.
All right, you guys were in a meeting yesterday. What does all this mean?
This all means that the Steelers may be penalized for encroachment.
The old encroachment trick again.
Maybe. Let's see. Dead ball right there.
That was
Targeted coming to the sideline now. He wants to talk to the official and to Bud Grant. They just announced Franco Harris scored 3 playoff touchdowns against Buffalo, 2 against Oakland, and 1 today.
There it was, Kurt. That was the strategy. Try to pull him offside, and now they're going to punt the football. He almost did it.
Well, why didn't something happen? I mean, how can you just say timeout and I'm going to send the punting team in? I shouldn't ask that
They may
question.
have blew the whistle or called time.
Seems like to me there'd be a penalty involved, but let's let go. Eyeshine kick it again.
Mike Eyeshine kicking against the wind. Good kick. Swan takes it on his 20. Coming wide, 25. Ooh, he bulldog down there. No flags down on the play. Jeff Wright got down there to make a brilliant defensive play. And now as the Steelers take over, we'll take time to tell you it's Pittsburgh 9 and Minnesota nothing. Pittsburgh's outside linebacker, Jack Ham. They've called that mysterious 4th down play for the Vikings. No play, no foul. We'll check further for you. Pittsburgh's ball, 1st down on their 26. Franco Harris coming out to the 30. Fumble. Big pileup. Now they'll untangle him. Harris fumbled 9 times during the year, lost 8 of them, but he's fumbled only once in the playoff.
Here's a situation where someone had a shot at the fumble, decided to try to pick this up. There's a great hole again. Eller outside, Page inside. Now right here you're going to see an attempt to pick it up by Page rather than falling on it.
Franco recovered his own fumble. The Steelers ahead 9-0. They're on their 36-yard line. They have a 2nd down and a foot to go. He has 100 yards in this game on the ground. He had 111 against Oakland. He's over now. Winston stopping Franco Harris. Just gone over 100 yards rushing in the Super Bowl game. Pittsburgh on their 40. In the first half, the Steelers had 129 yards rushing to 11 for the Vikings. $9:50 to go in the third quarter. There's a quick out pass, and it's complete to the rookie Stallworth. Jackie Wallace playing him tight. Stallworth has just caught his 3rd pass. He's been the main receiver for Bradshaw today.
Just as you never take a chance with Fran Tarkenton with John Gilliam, you never take that same chance when Lynn Swan is playing against you. Second, short yardage, the ideal position for the gambler.
Second down. Long 2 to go. Steelers on their 47. They're ahead 9-0. Harris fights over the 50 and has a first down. The Minnesota 47 or 48 where Roy Winston brought him down. And Harris could be headed for a Super Bowl record of rushing.
145 yards by Larry Zonka, and Matt Snell, we remember when they won, the Jets had 121 yards.
I'd forgotten that.
Speaking of Zonka, Franco Harris has tied Larry Zonka's record of 6 touchdowns in postseason competition. Pittsburgh on the Vikings 48 with a first down. Playing ball control now. They're ahead 9-0. Play action pass, look out. Gets away. He'll run it. He's at the 50 and he sprints out of bounds into the Viking bench. Alan Page puts the rush on him.
Carl Eller, a veteran of many years, a super football player, getting hit several times, first by Gordon Gravel. Another low chopping block by
Mullins, I believe it is.
Jerry Mullins.
Here comes
Another
Gravel
one.
back. Watch Page as Page comes in on closing in. Well, we're not going to watch Page, but I'm going to tell you, Page took a shot at him right before he got back there. He picked up about 4 yards. Good job by Bradshaw in turning what could be a big loss into a little pickup there for him.
He's had nearly a 10-yard average rushing the ball today. The third running back in the backfield. Second down 5. Bradshaw and the keeper. Page stops him there.
You know, Kurt, on the far side, we've got one-on-one Jackie Wallace, who's done a fine job, but he's going against Stallworth. Now, Stallworth is big. He's on the Otis Taylor, Jerome Barkham type. Big and excellent hands. That will be interesting. They're going to their 6-man deep and their 5-man rush.
108 yards rushing for Franco Harris, 43 for Blyer, 28 for Bradshaw.
Interesting, you know, Bud Grant isn't delaying as much as they have in the past.
Third down and 5 for Pittsburgh on the Minnesota 43. Brown, Podol, Bertram are in now. On the defense for the Vikings. Whoa, they smell that one out. Carl Eller made quite a hit on Rocky Blyer. That's Eller's best play of the game.
Beautiful.
The thing about Eller, he does cover a lot of ground, and he has a tendency to close really quick. We talked about the tendency to try to go around him on the outside. Maybe we can see him in number 81. He's coming on the inside of the design defensive play, a loop sort of thing. No one could block him. He hit Blyer right off before he could get started. Put him in a 4th down situation.
Jackie Wallace, Sam McCullum are back. On the far side is Nate Wright. 3 deep men now. They're covering both sidelines and the middle.
Look at him covering those out-of-bound marks over there, too, Kurt. Look at
And
that.
up it goes by Bobby Walden, trying to hang it up around the goal line. And it's skipped in for the touchback. Minnesota's ball, first down on the Viking 20. Coming up next, the post-game show. Super Bowl 9, a review. We'll be down to both locker rooms. We'll have the highlights of Super Bowl 9 right after the final gun sounds here in New Orleans. 9-0.
Big
Pittsburgh
series.
ahead.
Big series, Kurt, for the Vikings. They've got to get some kind of field position, and the Steelers know it.
Jim Blash and Gilliam are in a slot right as the outside receivers.
Nowhere.
Look at that. No way. That's a fumble.
Said he was down.
Chuck Foreman was really upended there. Andy Russell slashed in from the outside right.
The thing that we're talking about, watch the penetration. Russell's coming in from his outside linebacker. They're keying real well behind the pulling guards. A leg whip in there, and Foreman never got to the line of scrimmage. The fumble was there. The referee called him down, so the ball was about a yard lost.
Russell limping off, and Lorne Tays replaces him. The Steelers have had 2 incredible games back-to-back of stopping the ground game. Targeting.
Oh, that's it. He caught his own pass. He can't throw it again.
His own pass has reflection. Throws deep to Gilliam.
No.
He's got him.
No.
Gilliam.
Doesn't
Stopped
work.
at the 40.
No.
What a play that was.
Does not
Flag
work.
is down back at the 10-yard line.
It was
Flag is down.
a fun play, but that will go down in the books as a completed pass from Tarkington to Tarkington. That's true. That happens. Targeting the compartment. How does a quarterback ever catch a pass? Well, that's the way you do it. You get them knocked back at you.
They've been trying this all day. Roll out to the outside. L.C. Greenwood trying to get good position on Ron Yeri. That's 6'6". He takes advantage of it, slaps it back.
Who knocked it down? I didn't see. Was it
L.C.
Greenwood? Greenwood. Targeted, caught it, threw it again.
There he goes.
Well, it was the biggest play they've had all day, and they're probably going to get a penalty for it. Does that give you a clue how things going for the Vikes?
Well, now he's got that situation where the interception, the possibility moves up very dramatically.
That's a loss of a down and a legal forward pass. 2 men on the offensive team involved. Deflected to Tarkenton, and then Tarkenton to Gilliam. L.C. Greenwood's tipped about 3 passes today. Look at those yards rushing. Pittsburgh now has allowed 42 yards rushing against Oakland and Minnesota. It is 3rd down. 11 to go.
All right.
There's a good burst by Osborne. That's the biggest gain they've had on the ground.
They caught him in a different defensive set, too.
Bursting through. Taves hitting there.
They got Seaman out of the middle that time, had a little quick trap up the middle.
And they got a 1st down, and the Minnesota fans roar. They haven't had too much to cheer about here in the second half. They fumbled the opening kickoff in the second half. Pittsburgh took it in.
It's kind of surprising, Kurt, to see them get away with it, because the one thing they know is Fran did not want to be intercepted. So frequently, he pops it straight up at them. But that defense hasn't made many mistakes.
9-0. Pittsburgh ahead. Vikings ball, 1st down on their 30. Osborne.
At home,
Ernie Holmes, he's been there. 63. Greenwood, Green, and White have the nicknames. Hollywood bagged is Greenwood, it's Mean Joe, and it's Mad Dog White. But Ernie Holmes is some player himself.
Well, we'll have to figure out a name for him. You know, from a quarterback standpoint, when you play any defensive team, you usually can find somebody you can pick on. But when you look at that defensive front four of Pittsburgh, ain't nobody to pick on.
2nd down 8. Vikings on their 32. Foreman's out in motion. They're trying to spread him. Draw play to Osborne. And that is number 68, L.C. Greenwood. He's one of the fastest defensive ends of football. Very quick.
Well, what can you say? This defense got them into the Super Bowl. And up to this point, this defense has gone a long way toward winning it. From the line of scrimmage, Green, L.C. Greenwood moving in beautifully.
They're not getting a chance to start, are they?
No, they've got the strength and the speed to go with it. It's a great combination.
If our fickle friend Momentum has anywhere, he's right over there with the Steelers, and he's been there most of the day.
The Vikings have had 10 third down situations, converted 4 of them. Right now they're in the 3rd and long. There's a pass out. It's complete to Boyd. The tight end Boyd has a 1st down. Tarkenton hit a big one to Stu Boyd. Glenn Edwards hauled him down from behind.
Really a big one.
It sure was.
He had Stu Boyd man-to-man. They were doubling the outside guys from the end zone shot. You can see it. Slight slip by Green. Tarkenton, therefore, has a little bit more time to throw. He rolls out. He's got Boyd running kind of a square out pattern. That one had to be right on the money. That was Edwards right behind him. Yep. Boyd ran a quick square out and a big 1st down.
He got Jack Ham in a blitz that time, Tarkenton, and read it correctly.
Get that man-to-man coverage and give me a little time, we'll throw it.
Vikings 1st down on the Pittsburgh 45. Pittsburgh ahead 9-0. Out of the eye. Oh, another great charge. Foreman hauled down behind the line of scrimmage. And now they have sent Ed Bradley in.
The other thing that you've got to appreciate about a veteran football team is that they can stay close, despite the fact that they're not in it. If they had no time, lose their composure, get back, get close, they're still in this football game, and Fran can do it.
They just don't have enough variance in their offense. Now, I don't think, they're not being, they just can't run anything today. They're having a lot of trouble right there.
2nd down, 12 for the Vikings with the Pittsburgh 47. That was blocked again. It's intercepted by Joe Green. It was blocked by Dwight White. A flag is down and intercepted by Joe Green.
Joe Green's 2nd interception of the year.
Well, he's rolling out as best he can to get away from that rush. That rush has a way of catching up with him. And Green couldn't be happier, I don't think. I don't know what the flag is. Do you know, Kurt?
Personal foul.
But it's got to come
Flipping.
after the interception, has it?
A change of possession. Flipping call against the Steelers, but they'll keep the ball in the change of possession.
And that's the 5th tip ball today, or 4th.
That just shows you what a pass rush they've had. When you deflect about 5 or 6 passes on a pass rush, you're really pressuring that quarterback.
That quarterback remembers those things too, you know, because he's trying to do it. And when they keep throwing them back at you, that makes it, that's not the way it's drawn up.
Steelers now have been penalized 6 times for 75 yards. They're ahead 9-0, their ball, 2:30 to go in the 3rd period. Bradshaw, to Franco Harris. Harris to his 46-yard line. Jeff Seaman helped by Jackie Wallace in that last tackle.
Makes good pursuit, but they're still gaining good yards and continuing to the left side. There's Clack, and there comes Koch driving to the outside on Jim Marshall. Big hole. Seaman's pursuit does it, but good gain.
2nd down 4, and Franco Harris now has rushed for 114 yards. Bradshaw looks them over. Franco again. Not much that time. Roy Winston, after Alan Page got underneath the play. Page has been a standout. He and Seaman all afternoon.
Well, in another less than a minute at this point, the Vikings will have played 11 quarters of Super Bowl football and would have scored 14 points. They have not scored. They only had 2 other times, 7 in each of those.
3rd down, 3 to go for Pittsburgh from their own 46. Quick pass, intercepted. Jeff Seaman has it.
Probably going to be called back. I think Minnesota was offside.
Yeah, it looks like
Jeff Seaman right in the middle. Flag is dropped.
I think the Steelers are definitely the sympathetic favorite down here in New Orleans today. You know, we did the game out in Oakland against Oakland. We did the one against Miami and Oakland. To me, it was pretty evident that when Oakland played Miami, they were going to win it. We walked into the stadium the next week, and they were playing Pittsburgh, and there was not anywhere close to the same feeling. Franco Harris had a great game, as did Rocky Bleier. They gave Franco a game ball after the game. After the game, he gave the game ball to Joe Gilliam. They said, why? They said, well, it's Joe's birthday, and besides that, he's my friend.
Steelers ahead, playing a ball control game now. 1:11 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Harris again slipping forward to the 47-yard line of the Vikings. Wally Hilgenberg there to meet him.
Ray Mansfield's been around a long time, and oftentimes in an even man line, you got to make this block beautiful.
You know, Franco went a little bit wide on that one. If he'd been able to cut back up a little bit quicker off of Mansfield's block, he could probably pick up a little bit more yardage.
Miami used the pass sparingly to beat the Vikings last year. Bradshaw's thrown only 10 times today, completed 6. 2nd down 8. Franco Harris swinging out just short of the Viking 45-yard line. Jackie Wallace up from the right corner spot, and Jeff Seaman again. He's been on many tackles for the Vikings today.
We've got Carl Eller now to this side of the field, although the hash marks have changed it. We're watching again a switch that will go to a 5-6 defensive back arrangement. The big thing here is, again, the ability of Bradshaw to run.
Or hit that man-to-man, whoever they're covering man-to-man down there, Al, and that's one of the keys to it. And that's going to wind up the 3rd quarter.
That's it, the end of the 3rd quarter of Super Bowl 9. Pittsburgh Steelers 9, Minnesota Vikings nothing. Preceding announcement furnished to the public service by the National Football League. Kurt Gowdy, Al DeRogatis, Don Meredith into the 4th period. Andy Russell is still injured on the Pittsburgh sideline. Pittsburgh's ball on the Minnesota 45, 3rd and 6. Terry Brown, Randy Podol going in the secondary. The outside linebackers are out. Pittsburgh ahead 9-0. Bradshaw setting up, fires, incomplete to the tight end Larry Brown. He was covered by Terry Brown.
Doug Sutherland took Gary Larson's place. Here's Black Jim putting the block on him. Ray Mansfield, the way the center will do it is move to the open man. That was Jim Marshall coming over the top.
Total offense in the game, Pittsburgh 236 yards, Minnesota 122. Minnesota has 23 yards rushing, 99 passing. Pittsburgh 189 yards rushing, 47 passing. The punt now by Bobby Walden. Wallace and McCullum are deep. The short one. Fair catch called on the 23-yard line by Jackie Wallace. On the Vikings now, move to the attack, trying to get back in, and the score. The Steelers 9, Minnesota nothing. On that strange play when the Vikings had a 4th and foot, were going to gamble in their own territory. Long signal count by Tarkington. And then suddenly everything stopped and the Vikings punted. They ruled both sides offside. No play. They didn't get a signal. First down.
Third Foreman has got to be a factor. We're going to keep our eye on him.
Vikings on their 23. We have 2 reserve linebackers in for the Steelers right now. Tarkington shoots the pass, and he completes it to Foreman.
All right, they had Foreman in the slot. One man was deep. Let's take a look at him. The man played for Miami. Such a super football player. He drives down, then goes to the inside. They're looking for him.
That play is good for 6 yards. Now that's Jack Ham. Ed Bradley has replaced Jack Lambert. We don't know what's the matter with Lambert. Andy Russell has a bruised left thigh. He's been replaced as a linebacker by Lauren Taves. Russell may be back. I don't know for sure. Foreman on an outside sweep. He's brought down.
Yeah, he was creeping.
Al Blunt right in there on him, number 47.
Let's take another look at Foreman. He's their ace. He's the man they're counting on. This is a ground level shot led by Dave Osborne, but that defense just swarms all over it. Andy Maurer leaving the play, Mel Blunt making the tackle.
Dwight White goes out now, right in, and Steve Furness, number 64 from Rhode Island, is in. White, all week in the hospital with a virus. Finally, may have run out of gas here.
Yeah, he may have, but he sure has gone a long way.
Or he may have a bad knee. Played quite a game. The man that was sick all week. 3rd down and 4 for the Vikings. Targeted setting up down the middle. It is tipped away. It was intended for Foreman. Glenn Edwards was there, 27. Wagner was on him too. They double teamed him. And
all right.
Foreman's the man, as Aldi
He sure is. Coming out of the backfield, and they know it too. They, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're doubling this man. This was close to being an interception. Bradley pumps him. Almost.
That causes interceptions. You saw Foreman start to go inside, then see Edwards, he backed up. That's Tarkington was throwing where he was supposed to go. Luckily, he didn't intercept that ball. If they'd been thrown a bit lower, it'd been an interception for Edwards.
And the punt by Eyesheye. High end over end. Fielded by Swan on his 35. Breaks away, comes over the 40, and is down on his 46-yard line. Swan averaged 14 yards a punt return during the season. Doug Kingsrider was the man that nailed him. That's Dwight White. Timeout with 13 minutes to play in this game. And the score, Pittsburgh 9, Minnesota nothing. The Pittsburgh Steelers sitting on top of a 9-0 lead. There it is. That line of scrimmage, the Steelers have dominated. 13 minutes to go. There's a fumble, and the Vikings have it. Vikings have it.
Oh,
Paul
yeah.
Krause, the veteran safety, 22.
Big play. That's the second big fumble, and again, Kolb was closing to the inside. Field position. This football game is a long way from over.
Well, it looks like it's not a good exchange to me, Dero. They just didn't get the handle on the ball. Krause has a way of coming up with things. I don't know how he does it. He just seems to be where he's supposed to be. That's a pretty good indication right there. He picks off a lot of passes and fumbles, too. Good shot for the Vikes.
That's only the second fumble for Franco Harris in the playoffs. Now the Vikings have a big chance. Targeting. Going deep to Gilliam. And he's out of bounds. Flag
goes down.
Flag is dropped on Mike Wagner. Interference.
Wagner saying, not me. Not me.
Well, how many times have we seen Fran Tarkington do this?
Well,
go to his big man.
There's the call right there. You see Wagner kind of easing into him, pushing him out of bounds, which is a good call again by the official. You can't do that. So they got him another good break. A turnover right quick, and now you're back in the ball game.
Almost face guarding, too.
Yeah, this is the thing that Tarkington has done. They keep, fooling around, but he's been hitting this guy particularly all year long with big one.
Oh, the Vikings now have their 2 tight ends in. They have a 1st and goal to go on the Pittsburgh 5 after the interference call. And there's a fumble and a pile up at the 5. Up with the ball is Joe Green.
You think Mean Joe's running that ball?
And the Steelers have it. The Vikings blew another draft. Joe Green, who's intercepted a pass, comes up with a fumble at the 5-yard line.
Joe's telling him about it. Lay it on him, Joe. Lay it on him, baby. And ain't nothing to do it but to do it.
Well, leadership is such a big part of everything, and this man is the leader. There is no doubt.
Leaders are lonely, but they live such a good life.
Here it is. Foreman's having such a tough time. Last year, he only got 18 yards.
Didn't make a good handoff again. Green's looking for the ball. I think he reaches in there and takes it away from everybody. Now they call it down right there.
That's a 3rd turnover against Minnesota, 2 against Pittsburgh.
There goes Franco.
Boy, he's piling it up now.
That's what the Vikings have not been able to do, Kurt. They've not been able to give the ball to one of their backs all day and to pick up 5, 6 yards. They just haven't been able to do it. From the end zone camera, you see again a little counter move. He's coming back over the middle. Is that Clack in front of him?
Right.
It is. Good block on Krause, coming right through the middle. Good execution. But they've been doing this, and Franco's their man.
2nd down, 2. Franco Harris now has 126 yards in the ground. Little over 12 minutes to play. The Steelers ahead 9-0. Harris trying to bull for that 1st down, can't get it.
Looked like the same play.
Well, the thing we've got to keep in mind is 9-0. Despite this incredible effort, and it's one of the best defensive efforts I have ever seen, we must say that the Vikings, their defense has done a fine job. It's only 9-0, so no one has moved it that well.
Well, that's just telling it like it is, Dero.
Lynn Swan goes out, and Mike Webster comes in at center now. He's the man they use on snaps. This is a 3rd down play. 3rd down and 2. And the Vikings were up and stop him short. Rocky Flyer hit by Alan Page, number 88. And now the Steelers must punt. And they're punting against the wind here in the 4th period. Jackie Wallace will be going back.
They've come awfully close, Kurt, several times to blocking punts. They've really been putting a big rush on, particularly from the right side.
Bobby Walden. Only one man back, that's Jackie Wallace. He's in Pittsburgh territory. He's shortened up because of the breeze. 20-mile-an-hour wind that Walden is punting into. Look out!
He got it.
Blocked. And it's a Pittsburgh touchdown.
Holy mackerel! Oh-ho!
Terry Brown recovered it. Nice call, D-Roll.
Well, you talk about effort, I'll tell you, you've got to give him such great credit.
I believe Matt Blair blocked it. Matt Blair, 59, let's look. Matt Blair blocked the punt, and it's recovered in the end zone by Terry Brown.
Blair was the same guy that made that good hit on the punt return a while ago. He comes in, number 59, really broke clean. There are 3 or 4 of them around there. That's what you call show business, folks. It's turned around a brand new ball game.
All right, Krause will spot it. Krause will try and kick it. It's incredible. A team with about 30 yards rushing had a chance to win this game.
Oh,
good.
He did.
Hit the left upright. Hit the left upright.
Son of a gun.
And now the Vikes will kick off, and the score is Pittsburgh 9, Minnesota 6. Here's a block punt again. Matt Blair will be coming in from your left, 59. He gets up in the air and blocks it. bounds into the end zone, and Terry Brown of Oklahoma State alertly is up with it. The Steelers have had 21 yards net rushing and are very much in this game with 10:33 to go. That extra point could be important now. They need a field goal to tie.
That's right.
The thing about statistics, you need a long time to average them out. Anything happen in one day.
Here's the squib check. Steelers were looking for it. Picked up by Steve Davis on the 20. He's up to the 30. And he stopped short of his 35-yard line. First down. Steelers ball. Steelers had a 9-0 lead, and now it's 9-6. And it's not as comfortable for Pittsburgh fans as it was 2 or 3 minutes ago.
All right, but here's where that running attack of the Steelers can be so very important. Plenty of time go, of course, but a few first downs means good field position. This man loves to run.
Bradshaw shuts them down.
Oh, yeah.
Seaman really rocked Franco Harris.
What a difference a touchdown makes.
That's right.
Is he playing football, though? That man, 88, and that man, 50, Jeff Seaman.
They've been the Viking defense today, Seaman and Page. No gain. Steelers ball on their 34. Remember, they're going against a strong wind in the fourth period. Second down, 10. Stallworth and Swan to the right receiver. Dwyer and Harris have gone all the way as running back. Cutting back. Here's a big gain over the 40. And after the 42 is Franco Harris.
Good effort by Franco, because that was pretty well stopped up defensively, too. Didn't you think, Nero?
Oh, yes. We said right along. You know, Don, here again, the finest asset right now going for them, and that defense knows it, is Terry Bradshaw's ability to run.
I was going to say Franco Harris's ability to run, too, because I think he's the guy. Now, Terry doesn't want to run unless Franco can, man. You know, but so as long as Franco can keep picking him up some yards, he doesn't have to.
Third down and 2 to go. Pittsburgh on its 42, leading 9-6. Gonna throw for it. Shoots it deep. And it's caught. Brown, the tight end, has a first down. Fumbles the ball. And let's see.
Vikings got it.
Minnesota has it. Jeff Seaman on it.
Oh, yeah.
Did they blow the whistle dead?
Well, Kurt, the man was down.
The whistle dead.
The man was down. That doesn't surprise me a bit.
It's still wild and woolly, and I love him that way.
You love it wild and woolly, and we're seeing it now.
All right, a good throw. I think it may have been a little bit behind him. Let's see. He had to come back a little bit, but it was still over. Is that Krause? No, that's right there. He comes back in, cutting back across. That's Wallace. That guy's played a good ball game. And Winston, they knock it loose. They call the ball down right there, so it's still the Steelers' ball.
Pittsburgh's ball now in the Minnesota 28.
This is hitting the way football was meant to be played. Jackie Wallace there. They're really popping, Don, both teams.
Now, you see that ball coming out pretty quick. That's referee's choice. That's one of those decision things, and his decision was to give it to Pittsburgh. And down here in New Orleans, they have a way of stopping ball games when they don't like those decisions.
Viking fans booing. Flags are down on a straight-ahead play. Rocky Blair, flags were dropped on the play. Paul Krause, the free safety, made the tackle on Blair.
You start looking back into those up and butt plays we were talking about before this ball game. This could be a really big one right here, because they had a kind of, it looked like a whole new outlook, the Vikings did. They had a chance to get the ball back on a big gain and take over, but they didn't. So illegal procedure against the Steelers. Put them back in there.
Backfield in motion. 4 turnovers charged to Minnesota, 2 against Pittsburgh. Vikings had quite a few turnovers against the Rams in the National Conference game. First and 15 for Pittsburgh. Nothing on that one. Rocky Blair trying to cut back, and he's hit cold by Alan Page again, number 88. A power tackle who had a son born to the Pages and on a critical list for 3 days, named Justin Mark. Nearly lost his baby boy, but he's all right now.
Lynn Swan has been exciting all year. We haven't seen much of him. We may see something of him. He's number 88. He's at the top of your screen.
A little over 8 minutes to play. Pittsburgh ahead 9-6. Flyer, big hole, running, loose for a first down.
All right.
Paul Krause had it dropping there. They ripped it open for him that time. All the way to the Steelers. 16.
Whenever you think about...
All right, here it is. Take it, Donald.
Nero, it's just that you hit them where they ain't, and that's the thing they've been keying on is Harris all day, and Blyer had a good game against Oakland last week. Huge hole in there. Cobb's coming out in front of him. Krause, when you know the safety's making tackles, you know you had some trouble up front.
Yes, you do.
This is a 50-yard drive now that Pittsburgh has going. First down on the Vikings, 16.5. Time moving in favor of Pittsburgh. They're ahead 9-6. Cutback play. And Franco Harris, who is approaching Larry Sonka's all-time Super Bowl rushing record of 145 yards.
Which I bet he's not thinking about.
Let's see now. Franco has 138.
138. How many attempts do we have? I think Zonka did it in some 33 attempts, which was also
28 times.
Okay.
28 carries for Franco.
You've got both of them going. Under 7 minutes.
They're on the 12-yard line of the Vikings. Second down, 6 to go. This drive started on the Pittsburgh 34. Brashaw's been a cool one today. That play is about a yard gain. Franco Harris again. We're talking about Bradshaw all week long. The writers wanted to know his grades in high school, his grades in college, and he said, I'm tired of the intimation that I'm a dumb football player. He said, I have good football instinct. I call half my plays at the line of scrimmage. And
well,
he was really ticked off about it.
Don't blame him. Big series. The Vikings know they've got to stop it, and if they do, it could be very exciting.
We're approaching 6 minutes remaining. 9-6, the Steelers ahead. They have a third down, 5. And a throw. He shoots it, he completes it. And he hits Rocky Flyer just short of the 5. Krause tackles him. First and goal to go for the Steelers.
Well, I think he really looked over his defense real well. You see he's getting plenty of time to throw, and that really is the key. That's what Grant hasn't had. Flyer came out of the backfield. Krause was the first one to get him. Nobody was there, but he had time to look at him and time to throw.
You know, Krause might be one of the leading tacklers today, too.
Yeah, and it's not by his own design.
Bradshaw is 8 out of 13.
Super.
He's come up with some big tosses. Most of the time he's relied on the powerful ground game the Steelers have had. Webster's in at center now. One is out.
There's the ball, right through the middle.
Straight ahead they go on a quick dive tackle play to Franco Harris, who's now trying to get his 7th touchdown in postseason competition. Winston and Seaman brought him down on the 3-yard line of the Vikings. Second down, 3 to go for a touchdown.
42 years of waiting, Kurt. Under 5 minutes. I know Art Rooney somewhere is chomping on that cigar and thinking what a long wait it's been. This touchdown could ice it.
What a drive the Steelers have put on after they had a punt block. The Vikings got a touchdown. They come from their own 34 to the Viking 3. Flyer and Harris set behind Bradshaw. He checks everything. Gives the ball to Harris. Harris is stopped at the 4-yard line.
That's Wallace.
Jackie Wallace again, the right cornerback.
He's coming up, Kurt. He's really done it well. You got Seaman coming from the inside. Wallace closing him out from the outside.
They say you win it in the trenches.
There's Marshall. Look at Marshall take it down Blyer. He made Cobb jump up.
Good
break that momentum, that the movement of it, the timing, and there's Seaman and Wallace and Page is coming in there. Good defensive move there.
John Stallworth has replaced Lynn Swan as a wide receiver. Now it's 3rd and 4 for a Steeler touchdown. Field goal kicker Roy Drillett, number 10. 9-6, Steelers ahead. 3:40 to go. Let's see if they run or pass for it. This drive has used a lot of time. There's a rollout. Bradshaw fires. And a touchdown.
Brown.
Larry Brown, the tight end. Bradshaw to Brown. A 66-yard drive by the Steelers, who surged right back.
From the ground level, you're going to see a great move, I think, by Bradshaw. He put the pressure on him on the outside, rolled out. Here he goes. He has the option of running and throwing. Cobb falls down, which could be a handicap to him. You'll see Seaman running over. Bradshaw stops and drills this thing right in the middle of Brown. He found his opening back in the middle. There's Krause. Is too late.
Bradshaw's been booed for 5 years in Pittsburgh. He has come into his own the last month.
3:31 to go.
He lost his job in preseason. He had a sore arm. The young Gillum, a brilliant passer, Joe Gillum.
That was a good play, Kurt. That thing
Really was.
rolling out. There was an instant there where it looked like he should run. You never know until you're down there. He used, obviously, the right decision. He saw Brown break loose in the middle and hit him wide open.
But that's a sign of poise. Now, in another day, he might have run, but he had that ability to look at that defense very calmly and picked out the man.
You see Joe Green and Terry Bradshaw grass pans there.
Everybody loves everybody when you win.
15-6 now. Steelers ahead. The point by Jarilla. Walden spots it. It's up. And the kick is good. That drive, 11 plays, consumed a lot of time, and now puts the Steelers 10 points ahead. We'll line up for the kickoff to score. Pittsburgh 16, Minnesota 6. There's your time. Critical play here in the fourth quarter. Minnesota had a first down in the Pittsburgh 5 and fumbled the ball. Joe Green recovered. The kickoff. Bounding around. Grant McClanahan has it. Into the 30. And he stopped just short of his 40-yard line. Grant McClanahan hit by Jim Allen. Let's watch the touchdown again. Watch Bradshaw roll out on this one now. You have to respect his running ability, because he can take off and tear for that flag.
Well, you got a good block on Winston on the outside. Right here's the point. He made Seaman come up, number 50. That's the guy he had to work off of. That gave him the lane right through to Brown.
You're right, he really drilled it.
Yep, he drilled it right in there. That was hard one to defense against.
Vikings ball on their 39. Targeting, going deep to Gilliam. Intercepted by Mike Wagner. Wagner's at the 40. At the 50, still going. And is down on the Minnesota 41-yard line. Ron Yeri made the tackle.
Well,
Mike Wagner intercepted.
There was no doubt, Kurt, he was going to go up in the air with it, and there was no doubt in my mind it was going to be intercepted. This is the spot when the Steeler defense gets you, they don't let you away. Mike Wagner does it. That secondary move so beautifully.
Steelers led the National Football League in takeaways. When they've got the ball, they like to keep it. When they don't have the ball, they want to get it back from you.
Let's take another look at it. He didn't have that much pressure, but he's throwing into a desperation situation, and that's when you get intercepted.
All right, the Steelers first down now with just 3 minutes, 7 seconds to play, and they have a 10-point lead. Driving over the 40, Franco Harris had to knock one of his own men out of the way first. Jim Clack to reach the 38-yard line of the Vikings.
Well, let's see, Kurt. He still has a chance for that rushing record, and with time running out, we're going to see him get the football a few more times.
Minnesota scored on a block punt, missed the point. The Steelers came right back, going 66 yards, and kept the ball 7 minutes on that drive. A coach's dream of a classic drive. Second down. 7 to go. Franco Harris. They're trying to give Franco a shot at the record now. He had 142 yards before that carry. He picked up a yard on it. He's now 2 yards away from Sonka's record. We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network. And we're approaching a 2-minute warning. Franco Harris has tied Larry Sonka's Super Bowl record of 33 carries in a game. A 2-minute warning. Bradshaw goes to the bench to score. Pittsburgh 16 and Minnesota 6. I think one of the incredible statistics of recent years in football, Pittsburgh's defense held Oakland to 29 yards rushing. They've held Minnesota to 21 yards rushing a day. yards in the last 2 games have been rushed against the Pittsburgh defense. Pittsburgh's had 229 yards rushing this game. Franco Harris, and he's broken Larry Sonka's Super Bowl record. A new Super Bowl rushing record for Franco Harris. Who's the most valuable player in the game? Is it Harris? Is it Joe Green? Is it Terry Bradshaw?
They all are.
Or L.C. Greenwood?
You had 22 footballs. You'd have to give it to every one of them.
Vikings have called timeout now with 1:40. There's a new record. Franco Harris has run for 159 yards, breaking Larry Sonka's record last year of 145.
Here he is breaking it, making the good Franco Harris cut.
Joe Green, Ernie Holmes. Green at the age of 28, that's still a young front four the Steelers have. The youngest is White. L.C. Greenwood is signed with the Birmingham Barons, the only man they'd lose if the World Football League stays in business. Franco Harris has been named the most valuable player in the Super Bowl game, as he's broken the 9-year Super Bowl record for rushing in a single game. And he broke it. Quite a man's record, Larry Sonka. Officially 158 yards. First down, the Steelers ahead, 16-6. Steeler fans counting it down. Rocky Bleier. Oh, he's been a plugger in the last few weeks for the Steelers. Wally Hilgenberg brought him down. The Vikings playing courageously, could not get a ground game going. They were stopped cold on the ground. Chuck Noll about to realize the greatest moment of his life, winning the Super Bowl. A buff on classical music, good wines. The clock is moving with 1:05 to go, and the Vikings will set a Super Bowl record, their 3rd loss in Super Bowl history. But they've been here 3 of the last 6 years. There it is to Lynn Swann. He's down by Carl Eller on a flanker reverse. Clock is moving. We want to thank Commissioner Pete Rozelle and his staff, Bob Cochran, the broadcast coordinator of the NFL, the staffs of the Steelers and the Vikings, the stadium manager of Tulane, Buddy DeMonsabert, Don Weiss, the NFL Public Relations Director, our production stage manager, Jim O'Gorman, our field coordinator, Huey McDermott, and of course, Joe Costanza, our official statistician for NBC. 51 seconds to go. The Vikings now are down to their last timeout. 42 years for the Steelers, Art Rooney, one of the most beloved men in sports. Terry Bradshaw has had his greatest 3 games in a row when he had to have him in the playoffs. Art Rooney has 34 grandchildren and thousands of friends and neighbors around America. He is 73 years old. He and his bride of 45 years, Kathleen, still live in the same 3-story Victorian house in the ward that they've occupied for 4 decades, not far from the spot where Art Rooney's father ran the Rooney Saloon in the old days. Always has that cigar jutting out of his jaw, and he's a soft touch. 51 seconds to go. His son, Dan Rooney, is the general manager. He walks to Riverfront Stadium. He's a great Pittsburgh Pirate baseball fan. Rocky Bleier carrying the ball. Art Rooney probably sees more Pirate baseball games than the other fan. He just loves sports. He was quite a center fielder and quite a boxer in his day. He has a brother, Dan, who's now Father Silas of the Franciscan order. Used to play baseball and football himself. They say he was the best athlete in the family. Coming up next, Super Bowl IX in review. Terry Bradshaw, right here close by from Louisiana Tech. Lost his job, gained it back midway in the season, and got better as each game. Has now reached a young peak. This is just his 5th year. He'll be their man from now on. They can't play 3 quarterbacks anymore the way he's performed. He's thrown 14 passes today, completed 9. He's run the club beautifully and done everything right. For the Vikings, on defense, Seaman and Alan Page were standouts. I think another incredible statistic, if you didn't see this game and you looked at the figures, the Pittsburgh Steelers did not have a sack to the quarterback, and yet they had a tremendous rush on Fran Tarkenton. 5 times they tipped his passes. This is Rocky Bleier. He's down. And the American Conference is now dominating the Super Bowl. This will be their 3rd win in a row. Miami twice, Pittsburgh today. Dallas interrupted the string. This will be the 6th American Football Conference win, the 3 for the National Conference. The offensive unit gets a hand. Franco Harris going off. Penn State's happy about his performance today. 37 seconds to go, and the Vikings are out of timeout. They're trailing 16-6. Imagine after the game, Fran Tarkenton might say it's as tough as pass rushes he ever faced, even though he wasn't sacked. He's trying to throw it to Dave Osborne. Tarkenton now has 10 out of 24. .33 seconds to go. Look at those yards rushing. 21 yards. They've held Minnesota. They held the Oakland Raiders, who had the best record in pro football until they were upended by the Steelers, to 29 yards rushing. They've been even better today, stopping the Viking attack than they did the Raiders. That's the defense. There's the flare out on a screen. It's Oscar Reed who's now in the game, and he's stopped by Lauren Taves, who's filled in for Andy Russell. Frank Harris says, we're number 1, and he's been number 1 today, the most valuable player. We're down now to 15 seconds to go. The Steeler fans counting it off. The Vikings trying to line up. An awesome physical team were the Steelers today. Up goes Harris. Joe Green. Pittsburgh, the Super Bowl chance. Chuck Knowles up there. Pittsburgh wins it 16-6. Chuck Knowles being carried off. They were about the worst team in pro football when he took over. They rebuilt by the draft, not by trading. They made every number 1 and 2 pick count. They're still a very young team. I would say their best years are ahead of them. A team that may not have even reached its peak, that just started to come into its own in the last 6 weeks of this season. And the future opponents are going to have some trouble. To the Vikings, another bitter loss for them, but their organization has been here 3 times now in the last 6 years.